Welcome back viewers. This is Politics Today hapa Science TV. Hapa tunachapa siasa. Tuko msimu wa Krismasi na my guests hapa wamejaribu kuimba. Our sign language interpreter in this section is Grace Njeri. Damian Evans from ODM Youth League. We have Nicholas Oyos, SG Free Kenya Movement.
Yes.
We have Martha Karua. My God. We have Elizabeth Michael from NAC Kenya. Oh my God. Did I just say that?
You've given me a very big name, but I embrace it and I wear it with pride.
That's your party leader.
Yes.
So NAC Kenya Women League.
Yeah.
Before we went for the break, Damian, you had started getting into, was it Mr. Njuguna's performance and interest rates manenos and the Treasury Ministry and the rankings in there?
I'd not even pinpointed any CS.
Okay.
I'd actually given general feedback that our party, the ODM, does not agree with the rankings conducted by Chifa. Because, how do you rank a best performing CS? I think if you look at, we have defied meritocracy. Because nowadays, like we had started, we say that the president, most of his appointees are political rejects. You see?
My God.
Yes, but that is the truth. Most of them either vied in the elections and did not win in those elections. So they were rewarded because the president said that he's going to reward the people that helped him to clinch the presidency. You know, well, the president reserves every right to appoint any person that he deems so fit to appoint. But again, we have to heed to Article 6 of the Constitution. You know, leadership and integrity. Do those appointees of the president are they well in the leadership and integrity as prescribed in Article 6 of the Constitution? Because you see, some of them, even during grilling in the National Assembly, had integrity issues. We have had others who even had corruption cases, corruption scandals. That's why you can even see them in the ranking list, bottom 3. It's truly a bottom-up government. So, Article 132 of the Constitution gives mandates the president to nominate appointees of the government. After being nominated, they're supposed to be grilled in the National Assembly. All of them passed. Of course, they have the numbers. But now, that aside, looking at the performance and looking at the reality that is on the ground right now, according to me, the only person who I can say is trying, let me say trying, is one Professor Kithure Kindiki. At least he means well. Professor Kithure Kindiki,
he was ranked the best.
He was ranked the best. Even in the face of failure, Professor Kithure Kindiki will address the media. He will even say the gaps that are there. He will pinpoint very many things. I know there's still more work to be done, and I don't agree with the percentage that he was given, but at least he tries to give the government a face.
Was he given a lot or less?
He was given 65%, which to me is still a lot. He should have gotten something like maybe 45%.
Lower.
Look at somebody like the ICT Cabinet Secretary,
Eliud Oalo,
who is my village mate.
Right.
Eliud Oalo, what I remember him doing is food distribution in Nyanza. I remember he's busy doing his own things. He's busy with other things. I don't know whether he's he's like a prefect who goes from one class to the next, confirming whether students are making noise.
Yeah, but one would argue that the KK government is very digitized. They have gone into digitization.
You see, it is not the KK government.
Would it be without?
No, the digital infrastructure, that foundation had already been laid by the previous regime. So this is not a new thing that they're bringing. What the CS should be doing right now, they should be telling us in the space of digitalization. Now we're talking about e-commerce. How are youths going to get the jobs, even the virtual jobs? How are we going to trade? using the internet. Those are we should be having internet connectivity almost everywhere in this country. That is his mandate, because we understand that we are now in a techno-savvy country. So in the space of digitization, there's a lot that is supposed to be doing. So he should be engaging with these people, because most of the time he's in boardroom meetings. I don't know what boardroom meetings are assisting the government with. Well, I'll not talk much about the performance of the government. I'm waiting for a detailed statement from our party, and then we're going to have a party position.
Okay, Nicholas.
I think on
Nicholas, before you... Okay, just proceed with your thought.
No, on that question of digitization, I had the speech of the president talk about an engagement with Google, which basically said that they are going to help in supporting a bit of some work to be done in wards, and I think there's a law that is signed to the effect that there's going to be some engagement around digital.
About Google.
Yeah, there's an engagement with
okay.
Google.
And there's an engagement with Grammy Awards.
Yeah.
So
I'm hoping that these engagements are going to be clear to Kenyans, so that it's not engagements that are just said somewhere and not followed up. And for me, what he's saying is, I feel that the ranking should also have been about even the House itself, Senate, National Assembly, county assemblies, because you see the question that we are having in this country is that the county assemblies and the parliament are supposed to be representing the people, and so some of the things that are going on, we are supposed to be able to actually have these facts and figures on the table, so that when something is said, we know where it's going, so that we can say that from what is going on, we know that young people are going to benefit from digitization, because there is this and this, and Google is going to support, so that it's not a statement that's just made, and then we are going to, somewhere down the line, we are going to start saying it was said, because I remember this election was about things that were said, and somehow they've not been confirmed to be able to be done. So those are some of the things we need to deal with.
Okay.
Also, Jonah, just to add on that, as my colleagues have said, we need to also note that this is a cunning government. We are being given opportunities that are creating for them things that they're going to start taxing. Remember, they're going to also start taxing e-commerce and everything. Like they say, they will start taxing, was it TikTok or whatever business that is happening online? TikTok, yeah. So, and as much as it might be looking like it's going to build us, it's also taking us down, like he has said, bottom-up economy. So, wanaturushia mahindi, we grab it, register our businesses, but again, we are overtaxed. Just the same way we were saying about the economy, like right now, when you look at the loans, people who have loans.
Interest rates?
Yes, the interest rates.
Right.
Jonah, I was talking to someone who is paying about 200,000 every month.
Right.
To the bank. With the interest rates that have come, they have shot up to almost 20%. I think they are at 18.
They advised to go to Hustler Fund.
They are, no?
Okay.
Excuse me, Jonah. Hustler Fund gives you 500. Someone who wants to build a building worth 40 million and anapatiwa 500,000, Jonah, let's be realistic. So this person has taken a loan from the bank. That person was paying at probably 11%. Sahizi, it has shot to near 20. I think it's at 18%. So if you had budgeted yourself to be paying 200,000 every month, now maybe you built rental houses, maybe they're giving you an income of, let's say they're about 300,000 or 320. Bank ichukue 200, you remain with maybe 100 or 120, then you know for your upkeep, you know. So now unapata, this person now was telling me they're now paying not 200, atakuwa na deductiwa 280,000 every month. Otherwise the bank will repossess the property. Si unajua. Right. So now this person had an extra 120. Saizi, for someone who was surviving on 120, saizi anakatwa na bank 280. This 40, how will that person survive? Are you getting now? This government is really unrealistic. It doesn't care about its voters, because some of these people who take even these loans voted that government in. But to their disappointment, this is what is happening.
Now, Nicholas, there was a time, following on what Elizabeth is saying, someone came with a bill to Parliament. Was it called Bonde or what? Do you remember such a name?
What?
There was some bill that was financed during either Kibaki or Moi's time. And it touched on interest rates.
Yeah, you are talking about Joe Donde.
Yes,
Donde was
Donde bill.
Yeah, Donde bill. Yeah,
Yes.
And I think for me, he's one of the people I always say that performed in Parliament, because your work is to do bills and to do motions and to do those things of oversight and what have you.
That could have addressed this problem?
Yeah, of course it was, because it was going to be something that was going to ensure that this interest bills don't go beyond some certain levels. I don't know if we are going to get those people coming in again, because now those kinds of issues are there. And as she's saying, you see the numbers that are going very high. You'll find people in distress. You'll find people who are going to end up losing a lot of resources and money that they had already invested. These are plans that were done earlier, and then now things are changing every day. Fuel is going up and everything is changing. You have to basically change everything that you had planned for. So I think Joe Donde bill would have been a good bill at this point, and I'm hoping that there are members of Parliament somewhere to listen to pick on that kind of a thing. Yeah, Joe Donde had that vision at that time.
Right.
And it was not as bad as now, so I hope that somebody will see it.
By the way, one Honorable Musalia Mudavadi was ranked the second. Yeah, it's interesting he spoke about privatization, and he said we are not talking about disposal. These are two distinct things. He defended the president on these privatization issues.
John, I think those are just semantics. Let's be honest. We know what privatization happens in this country. In other countries, it is actually nationalization that happens. So they are very opposite. Nationalization is taking up things that are private and making sure that you make sure that you care for the public and ensure that the public is secured. Privatization, Jonah, as it's coming, and some of the things, assets that are going to go is basically people are going to line themselves behind the entire issue and buy those things freely, and you will see them making money. So really the question here is how do you distribute assets to yourself? And you see now, Jonah, with the bill that has passed, the privatization bill that 2023, which basically has created a situation where they don't have to go back to Parliament. So what it means is that Njuguna, Ndongo Njuguna is just going to say, I don't like this company, let me sell it.
Can he sell KICC?
He's selling KICC, not like can he sell, he's selling, it's on sale, Jonah. You can buy KICC tomorrow, you have money. KICC is on sale. It's only that there is a court case that has stopped it now. But then the question is that those are the things we are facing. We are facing a scenario where an iconic building, anywhere you talk about Nairobi, Jonah, anytime you talk about Nairobi, this time somebody is going to tell you that this thing belongs to me. If you use it anywhere, pay me. This is a landmark that, Jonah, anyone, anytime when you show Nairobi, you're going to show KICC.
Yeah.
That is how important that building is. So when it goes, and you can now not use it to bring tourists into the country, then you know what it means. Because when you are telling them Nairobi, one of those things has always been that building.
Exactly, Jonah. And just to add on that,
very key for international conferencing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's.
By the way, it has been doing well of late. There has been competition from Rwanda. You know, some conferences going to Kigali,
and it will,
but still performing well.
It is not going only to be in Rwanda. It's even Tanzania. There is going to be more. Everybody is trying to organize themselves. So really, you have to deal with the fact that there is going to be competition. But as you're saying, Jonah, still KICC has done very well over the last few years. I don't know about the issues about how much money it's bringing. But Jonah, I think some of those things is you just have to organize arrangements where you know that you have allowed certain people who have capacity to maybe manage those things to come in and help, but not sell it completely. Because when you sell it, Jonah, you'll be crossing there and you're told this is private property.
Yeah, actually, Mudavadi said it's not disposal.
And I've said that is semantics for me, because privatization, according to the law, is selling an asset to anybody who is going to buy it for government, actually selling the shares of government in that particular building, or I mean that particular engagement. So if it is KCC, government sells its stock. It doesn't belong to government anymore once it's sold. So I need to understand what the minister, the CS, Prime CS meant, because sometimes you defend things, but sometimes you need to come out and tell. Because I hoped that somebody like Mudavadi, being that he's not a UDA member, he's a member who agreed to join government, could sometimes stand up and say, no, this is what it means. If it is him who is saying that, I'm really worried, because I had hoped that in that cabinet room, somebody can tell the president that, Mr. President, that is not the right way to do it.
Okay.
I'm now worried.
There is something, Elizabeth, you're trying to say. Just
yeah, Jonah, okay,
right.
me, I look at it from a political angle. I know who manages that KICC. Is it a political fight to remove that person there to put their own? 1. 2, just like we saw the sugar company that Rai was doing, that was that was privatization also.
Yes, Cabras, yeah.
So yeah. Like you have said, people, they might be creating. Okay, it's being said it's going to be sold. Someone wants to buy the government shares from to own, like the person will now own KICC. Jonah, right now, to go to KICC, to the top, to the helipad, Kenyans will pay 500 shillings, right?
Right.
I have not seen anything wrong. Sijaenda KICC nikapata ni kuchafu. Sijaenda KICC nikapata default lifts are not working.
Yeah.
I've not found any fault, so I don't see the reason for it to be privatized. If I would talk about this other company for maziwa, KCC,
right,
that one I could agree, because naona kuna somewhere something is not right. Maybe this person would improve it. Also, a message to the people who are planning to buy. Mwenzako kinyolewa, chako kitie maji. Rai kimemramba. Waenda nunua KICC. The next government itakuramba. Now don't cry saying ati I bought, nini now I'm being, hata wewe utaenda. Hizo mliambiwa mambo I'm not fearing to say. Hata wao watambua mambo ni Sayuni. Wapi Kenya, uhame Kenya ama uende mbinguni. Hiyo Sayuni or the other one. Yes. Because that is, people are gullible. Don't take bait. If
there's a reason, I think we need to look at it from IMF perspective, because these things happened during Moi's time. SAPS, you remember there's structural adjustment programs,
right?
And we know what happened with structural adjustment programs. That is the time when we started seeing that private interest coming into national and these assets, and we got into a situation where some of these things were actually now something called cost sharing came at that time, and you had to be told that if you're going to hospital, there's something you need to pay. I think that is where this thing is coming. So really, it's not about what she's saying that there is losses. No, it is about somebody has their money they are demanding from you, and they are telling you, before you eat your ugali, make sure you pay me. And that is what we are facing. That's what we are facing, in my view. Yeah.
Right. Let's go to recruitment manenos. We have two parties represented here, ODM and NAC Kenya. Are you also recruiting? NAC Kenya?
Yeah. Okay. In our end year meeting just last week.
Okay.
We sat down and it was past that this coming year, because we have already closed the year, 2024, we are going to have the USSD payment code and recruiting. is going to happen on, I don't have the specific time, but we are going into each and every county, reverberating and reviving our branches. And members are welcome to join NAK Kenya, where our party leader is Honorable Martha Karua. And it's going to happen, and we are going to roll it out next year.
Now, Nicholas.
Yes. Even last year,
is there more than meets the eye? I wanted you to speak like a middle person here.
Yeah. I will speak like a
but
middle
obviously,
person.
you as Free Kenya, you're also doing a lot of signatures.
Yes, and we'll talk about that next year.
Azimio is doing over 10 million signatures.
10 million Azimios, he needs to tell us if they are real or they are something, but we know what happens in this country. But
is there more than meets the eye? Why all the recruitment now? Is it a recruitment season?
Yeah, everybody's trying to recruit, and even us, as I told you, we are also thinking that Jonah, we faced a problem in the last elections. We were pushing for independent candidates, and we found a situation where I think both of them need to tell us what they were doing at the back there, because IBC did not want to hear anything of independent candidates.
Right.
So we are thinking this way, because we found a lot of Kenyans who found themselves in political parties that they don't even know where they got into those political parties. So we are also saying that if you are a Kenyan who doesn't want to go into NAK Kenya and to ODM, we are going to open for you some space for you to say, I'm independent. I don't want to be in any political party. Because the problem that we have, Jonah, is the question that political parties need to be cleaned up. And for me, I feel that...
are you trying to fight what the fathers fought, the second liberation, the multi-party?
Not really.
Yeah.
The liberation that we fought for was for better political management. What we have gotten so far is a management of politics that is very questionable, because we end up with political parties that I mean the list now is about 100, I think. I'm still wondering how those 100 parties are operating in this country. 95, yeah. Those parties, and there are about 3 more that are coming up. They are in a provisional process. If you want to know, Jonah, a party now should be like a matatu, where you go there and you see party there and you see there. Are you seeing them, Jonah? I'm still waiting to see a lot of parties and activities and what have you. So really my issue is that, and a challenge to them, is that it's not just recruitment. It's also, you need to act as a political party, and you need to push issues as political parties. We don't want only to see you when you are looking for us to to come and say that you're many, but also come and teach us about your policies, what you think the government is about. I need to expect to see you talking to your members of parliament to do what they are supposed to do. We are paying them for you. You are not the ones paying them. But then we expect that some of the things that you as political parties are pushing should be seen also in parliament. So I should see a difference. If there's a governor who is of ODM, ODM has, I think, a good number of counties in this country. I need to be able to see that I've gotten into ODM country.
Probably someone should ask you, since you seem to be a thinker, as a movement, of course. I want to believe also as an individual.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Maybe what can be done, because at this stage, with all that is being said within the parliament, the 2/3 has not been realized.
For me, Jonah, we are headed to a season where it's going to be, and I think the recruitment might be telling us something. There's a season that you are going to be fighting around the constitution, probably. Because it's coming from, I think, ODM or Azimio. That must be Azimio, talking about its own intentions to push a referendum. We have had NADCO outcomes going towards a referendum. Even us as Free Kenya, we have been talking about a referendum for a while. Thank you for joining our thinking. Now you know that we knew this before you realized that this country needs that. So, Jonah, one of the things would be, if we have a referendum, then political parties act, or rather the instructions in the constitution must be in a manner that is going to confirm for us that if it is me versus him or versus her in a electoral seat, if I win by one vote, then I can actually be given that 5 years because I won by one vote. It should be able to count. In political parties, Jonah, it's always murky, and they know, they'll tell you. And they might be here because I would be criticizing them if they were in parliament, but they might be here because they tried to win and they realized the murkiness of that. So this murkiness of political parties, when they're looking for nominees, should really change so that we can get into a situation where the people who are being elected are elected because they are wanted by the public or the members of that party.
Damian,
yes, yeah.
We are just winding up in a minute. Are you happy with the 2/3 manenos? I mean, what is the solution? I mean, you can see gaps, really. Yeah. Which way forward? But let me spare you that for now. Probably in a minute. Can you give us that?
Okay.
Do you seem to have an idea?
I have an idea.
Right.
You see, there is a lot of political fishiness in our country. By now, we shouldn't be talking about the 2/3 because this conversation was begun. You remember Duale had tried it several times. They have discussed it several times. Because if the numbers are there in Parliament, I think it's a matter of now sobering up. It is our members of Parliament sobering up because they are the only ones who can ensure that the 2/3 goes through.
Let's stop it there. I think we need to proceed this next week. Viewers, our time is gone, but I promise you we have to continue this talk next week. Just tune in on your TV just before as you get in your Christmas and season manenos. Make sure you set a date with us here at Science TV and just follow up this conversation. We have been with Damian Evans, ODM Youth League. We have been with Nicholas Oyo, Secretary General, Free Kenya Movement. We have been with Elizabeth Michaels, Women League, NAC, Kenya. And from all of us here, I think it's good we say Merry Christmas. From all of us here, it is Merry Christmas. See you next week.